Today I'm going to discuss counseling skills for older adults. Aging is a natural process that may present challenges for some individuals and their families. Some people have a difficult time adjusting to the fact that they are getting older. Some interesting facts that I found is that 13% of the US population is over the age of 65. By 2030, older adults will comprise 20% of the US population. By 2050, the number of persons over the age of 65 is expected to double, and persons over the age of 85 is expected to quadruple. By the age of 65, about 4 in 10 of community residing adults require assistance with activities of daily living. By the age of 85, 1 in 7 adults is living in a nursing home. In general, women tend to outlive men, causing more widows than widowers. One thing I found in social justice is ageism, and what that is the discrimination against old people and the tendency to view older people similarly and negatively. Some stereotypes of older people are that they are warm and friendly, but not ambitious or responsible. They may be less competitive and have a lower status. They may be more feminine and less masculine. They could be less effective on the job or less intellectually competent and less active. There's not much information available for counselors with regards to specific values of older adults. What they do know can also change over years depending on the historical events that take place for certain groups of people. For instance, people who went through the Great Depression, the World Wars, Vietnam Wars, they're going to have different values than people who grow up in the 21st centuries because our lives are a lot different. Another value that older adults can struggle with is losing their independence. This can happen when they're no longer able to drive or no longer able to live alone. Older adults may want to keep things to themselves, which can be a struggle for counselors if they're not willing to share information. There are many reasons that older adults may attend counseling. One big one is chronic illness, which may lead to grief over changes in body image, physical limitations, and increasing dependence on others. A common chronic illness that affects about 5 million people in the United States is Alzheimer's disease. Approximately 10% of people 65 or over and nearly 50% of people 85 or over have Alzheimer's disease. Mood disorders is one of the most common mental health problems among older adults. Along with that comes health problems, which can include strokes, cancers, diabetes, heart disease, and Parkinson's disease. About 2 million older people have a mood disorder, and another 5 million have depressive symptoms. Depression can occur in older adults from circumstances like losing a spouse or a loved one and experiencing physical illnesses. This is also where grief and loss come into play. There may be a sense of loss after retirement, the inability to drive or living alone, like I had mentioned earlier. Losing the feeling of independence can happen when someone is no longer able to live alone and needs to be cared for. With the opposing role of an older adult who is a caregiver for a loved one, that can cause a sense of stress. So if there's an older married couple and one of them has Alzheimer's disease, the other spouse may have to be the caregiver, and that can cause some stress on them, physically and mentally. Elder abuse is another issue that can happen to older adults. Between 2 and 10% of older adults are victims of this type of abuse, and usually it is done by a family member or the spouse. Retirement can be a wonderful time in someone's life, but at the same time, can cause people to lose their sense of identity and worth. So finding a new source of enjoyment can bring meaning back to someone's life. The indigenous treatment methods that I found, one of them was spirituality. And according to Tornstam, as people age, they move from a materialistic view of life to a more transcendent spiritual view. And that may be that, when you're younger, people enjoy their houses, their vehicles, materialistic things. But as you get older, you realize that you can't take those things with you. So figuring out everything that you've done in your life and what's going to happen once you pass on, that's what becomes important. Reminiscence, which is remembering, recalling, reviewing, and reconstruction. Another method is life review, which is looking back over life events and experiences. And the last one is guided autobiography, which is when you identify the most significant life events and reflect upon those experiences. So one of the counseling approaches that I came across was early recollection. And this technique was adapted from the Adlerian theory, in which older clients are asked to remember and recount their earliest memories. So this is going back to early childhood. They represent an important contribution for counselors by uncovering the client's style of life. They can be obtained very easily and quickly, and they can provide a wealth of therapeutic information for the counselor. The counselor is also able to build a rapport with the client with this type of approach. These recollections can help to focus on the reasons the client has certain behaviors and also assist in formulating counseling objectives. So another approach that I found was group therapy. This is a popular form of counseling, particularly in inpatient settings. So the first one that I'll talk about is music. Researchers have shown that music therapy has been successful in helping patients in the following 5 areas: perception and self-perception, personal integration, emotion and impulse regulation, behavior change, and insight and comprehensive. Cooking is another therapy that can help. This activity relies on clients working together as a group. Easy foods can be made so you don't have to necessarily be in a kitchen, so such as making a salad, sushi, or smoothies. The next one is culture. This is a wonderful way for clients to learn history of other cultures while also getting the opportunity to learn from each other. And the last one is small games. This one is incorporating games can help clients to interact with one another while helping them to get to know each other and to have some fun. And actually, one of the ones that I haven't discussed yet is the art, but I'm going to go into that a little bit more. Art therapy can help with the following. It is review a person's life, give meaning to someone's life, express and deal with difficult emotions and stress, and help with mental health problems. It shows how this type of therapy can enrich and give meaning to the later years and can affirm the wisdom and self-awareness that comes to those who have lived a full life and have the capacity to manage a multitude of challenges. And I do have a link below to watch a demonstration video. So thank you for your time.